Problem 10 from the Chapter 3 Quiz Review. Which of the following pairs of equations produce the same graph? Choose all that apply. It says you will most likely need to show some work to make your determination. Right, so we're not going to just be able to take all of these and plug them in on the calculator and look at the graphs. So we need to be able to figure this out otherwise. Okay, so we could either take it here. There's a couple options. First option, go ahead and, simplify expressions if you can. Like for instance, this one here. We could take it and we can simplify the negative 2x to the third, right? But if you're not good with exponent rules here, okay, another way you can do this here is by taking points and plugging them in to checking to see if you get the same outputs. So for instance here, for this first one, I'm going to look at this y is equal to negative 8x to the third plus 1. I'm going to take it and I'm going to plug in a value. Let's plug in 2. If I plug in 2 as my input here, I'm going to have negative 8 times 2 to the third power plus 1, which is going to give me negative 8 times positive 8, which would be negative 64, plus 1 is negative 63. Now, if these two functions are really the same, when I plug in a 2 into this function, I should get the same answer. So let's check it out. F of 2 should equal negative 2 times 2 to the third power plus 1. So when we look at this here, negative 2 times 2 is negative 4, and negative 4 to the third power is negative 64. Plus 1 should also give us negative 63. So in this case here, since we're getting the same outputs, these graphs are going to be the same. Let's try the second ones here. So we've got y is equal to 3 raised to the power of 2x plus 1. And we've got y is equal to 3 times 9 to the power of x. So let's take it, let's plug in 2 again. Sure, why not? So f of 2 equals 3 raised to the power of 2 times 2 plus 1, which is 3 to the 5th power, which we should know is 243. And now when we take our second equation and we plug in the same input, we should end up with, let's see, 3 times 9 to the second power. This is the same thing as 3 times 81, which is once again 243. Awesome. These ones are both going to work. Let's look at the next ones. Y is equal to the square root of the quantity of 4x plus 4, and y equals 2 times the square root of x plus 1. So, hey, let's stick with 2. It's working, right? If we plug in 2 here, f of 2 equals the square root of 4 times 2 plus 4. Well, that should be 8 plus 4 is 12, so this is like the square root of 12, which is like, what, 2 radical 3? And let's do the same thing over here. F of 2 is going to be 2 times the square root of 2 plus 1. And when we add that 2 and 1, we get 3, and this also gives us 2 times the square root of 3. Look at that. 3 in a row. 3 in a row. And let's go ahead and try the last one. Maybe we're going to go perfect here. Let's see. So we've got y equals 3 to the power of 1 minus x. And then we've got y is equal to negative 3 raised to the power of x minus 1. So sure, let's go ahead and do 2 again. So f of 2 is going to equal 3 to the power of 1 minus 2. Which is like 3 to the negative first, or 1/3. And then if we take our 2 and plug it into the second function here. We're going to have negative 3. Oops, it's not a negative 3, it's a negative 2. We have a negative 3 raised to the power of 2 minus 1, which is going to give us negative 3 to the first. So in this case here, we got a 1/3 and we got a negative 3. So this one is not going to work. Looks like our answers for number 10 on the Chapter 3 quiz review are A, B, and C. Like I said, there are other ways to do them. You could look at just working on simplifying, but if you struggle with that, this is a great way to check it. Other questions, bring them to class. We'll talk about them tomorrow. Thanks.